Hello, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that prefers Zach as its co-host.
Yeah, instead of my piece of crap brother Sean.
Seriously?
You know it's true, Sean.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at my top 100 games of all time. Joining me, of course, is Zach, and we're going to take a look today at our numbers 20 through 11.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Zach, why don't you go ahead and get us started with your number 20?
Okay, my number 20 is a card game that can be played with an old classic game, a game you didn't like at first. Nightmare Chess.
Nightmare Chess, very good. Yeah, tell us about Nightmare Chess.
Nightmare Chess is basically a card game that you play with chess. And a lot of people have a hard time with it because, you know, it's like chess is like the perfect game and chess is, you know, old in history and whatever. But with Nightmare Chess, you get a series of cards. There's many ways, a couple different ways you can play it. I prefer the draw out of the common deck way. But you have these cards that kind of alter the way you play it. The only rule in Nightmare Chess is you can't win the game with a card. You have to get checkmate the old-fashioned way. But you have cards you can play, like all of a sudden your queen can also move like a knight. Or one of my favorites is your pawn becomes like a suicide bomber, and you push, moving, and it blows up, and all the pieces around it blows up.
And you had that card you played in the game with Bob with the you can't say the name of the piece.
Oh, that was my favorite one. Where you can't. Whoever says you decide what a name of the piece, and whoever says the name of the piece first, they lose that piece. And oh, you took my knight, and then all of a sudden we all go nuts because someone lost their knight. Right. It's a fun. Again, new take on an old classic.
This was higher up on my list. I want to say this was in my 80s,
yeah.
I think. But I really liked it. But back in the day at the theater, I didn't play it. I thought, like Zach said, I thought, why screw with chess? Yeah. And then I was kicking myself for years. I was thinking, man, that probably was a pretty fun game. And then when they did the reprint about 5-6 years ago, I picked it up and played it a few times. And it's a great chess variant. I really enjoyed it.
We played that a lot.
So that's Nightmare Chess from Steve Jackson Games. That's your 20, right? Mm-hmm. My number 20 is a game I know you love because, again, this was another game I got you for your birthday. And I'm kind of lumping it and kind of its sequel game in here together, but I'm going to say Undaunted Normandy / North Africa. Okay. These games are deck builder / tactical war game. Now, a lot of wargamers are not fond of this because you don't have things like line of sight, and it's more about, in some respects, it's more about the deck building. But nevertheless, it is so much fun, and it's another great implementation of a deck building mechanic being used for a board game, and I love it. I love it.
A very unique deck builder.
And what's cool is I think Quinn said this on Shut Up and Sit Down, if I'm not mistaken. You've got the characters, and they've all got names. Yeah. And you kind of feel like when they die, you're actually losing a guy in your squad, you know. So, but it's so much fun. And then with North Africa, they added the vehicles, which actually worked a lot better than I thought they were going to. You haven't played North Africa yet.
I haven't played North Africa.
But you played Normandy a ton.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
My 15-year-old daughter kills me at this game almost every time.
She's a natural warrior.
She is a natural warrior.
No, but it's a great game. That's from Osprey Games, Undaunted, Normandy, North Africa. Fantastic. Okay, my number 19 is a game that I did one of the few games in recent years I did a Kickstarter on. And it's a game that I gave you the first edition to because I was getting the second edition. This is Eclipse Second Dawn for the Galaxy. And this is one I was just telling Zach we got to play again sometime here coming up. But this is a great space, it's a 4X game. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It is a 4X game. It's a great space 4X game. A lot of people kind of said it was going to be the TI killer, Twilight Imperium killer, and it's not. I think they're fundamentally different games. This one is much more of an economic game, I think, than TI4 is, and it's much more of a Euro mechanics in this one than a TI. But still, I freaking love this game. You're building the tiles, you're building the galaxy, you're spending resources to increase tech, and you got the spaceships with blueprints, and there is direct conflict because you do have the battles with the spaceships. But what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, if I remember correctly, the first time I played it was the second time you played it, but we played it right after we played Twilight Imperium.
I think we played it together the first time. I think the first time we played it.
I thought you might have played already. No, but you had. But it was right after we played Twilight Imperium.
Not long after.
Yeah, it was a Twilight Imperium, and then that. And what struck me about it is that I thought it was very similar to Twilight Struggle, but a very shorter, more trimmed down
compact
version.
version.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people were saying. Is they say it's like Twilight Imperium, but it's shorter and it's more digestible.
Yeah.
But I see, and the more I play them, the more convinced I am they're very different games.
I guess.
They have some superficial similarities. They're both space games. You both have the tiles that come out, but in a lot of ways, I think they're just night and day. I think while TI has some Euro elements to it, I think it's really an Ameritrash game at heart. And this game is really fundamentally a Euro game with a few Ameritrash ideas in there. So that's my feeling there. All right, so that is my number 19. That's Eclipse, Second Down from the Galaxy. That's from Lalaputit. Aye. All right, so you're number 19.
Number 19 is Love Letters. Another game in a Tempest.
Yeah.
Asteroid Line. Another very simple game.
It is
It's a very easy game. But
You got a hand of one card?
Yeah, you got a hand of one card. You draw your second card. You play the card. But there's the way it all plays together. There's an expansion where they add a whole another group of 10 cards, which is a lot longer. I don't like it.
Is that the deluxe version?
Yeah, the deluxe version adds a whole other group of cards, which are the cool cards, but it makes the game actually 3 to 4 times longer, not just double the length.
Well, that's one of the nice things about Love Letter is it's a relatively quick game.
Yeah.
I got the Batman version. I like to play the Batman version.
Yeah, they IP'd the heck out of that.
It won. I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a popular game. You know,
The Cthulhu version, that's pretty good too.
I haven't played that one.
Yeah, I've heard that's a really good one.
Yeah.
But no, very simple card game.
Yeah.
You could play 2 people. It was fun. You play it with 4 people.
Again,
You're over in
I
20
can't even
minutes.
remember if that's not my 100, but I think it might have made my higher levels, but I can't remember. But anyway, it's a long time ago. Okay, so that was Love Letter from AEG. That was your 19. What's your 18?
My 18 is Horrified.
Horrified.
From Ravensburger.
We talked about that during the last video, I
In
think.
the last video, we talked about it
Or 2 videos ago, I guess.
Yeah, 2 videos ago. So not much more to say about it except for it's a great game. I think it's a great game for someone who wants to learn how to play some of the more complex ones. Great cooperative game. It's just a fun game.
It's an accessible game.
Yeah.
It's an this is one of the great all-time gateway games in my opinion. If you've got friends that don't play modern board games or haven't, and you want to get them into it, this is a great place to start. It's got that, you know, because it's cooperative, so it's easy to teach.
Yeah.
Cooperative games are always much more easy to teach, I think, right? Asymmetrical games like Disney Villainous is a tough game to teach because you're all
doing
different
your own
things.
thing.
But this one's very easy. I really liked Horrified 2. Again, it's fun. There's choices. It's simple, but there's strategy, and like you say, the mini games. Each monster's got a mini
Little
game.
mini games. They're all mini games. A lot of fun.
All right, so that was your number
18.
18. That is from Ravensburger, and Prospero Hall designed it.
Yeah.
All right, now my 18 is one we talked about last time. This is Civilization: A New Dawn for Fantasy Flight Games. Now we played this. I played it with you a few months ago, and we played it again about a couple of weeks ago with the expansion.
Yeah, expansion was good.
Expansion is freaking awesome.
No, you said you thought you can't play without the expansion now.
Well, here's the thing. If somebody were to come up to me and say, Cody, I want to buy this game, but I don't have enough money to get the expansion, should I get the game? I would still say yes, like I would say yes with Star Wars Rebellion.
Yeah.
It's still worth it even without the expansion. But as soon as you can, get the expansion, because as good as the game is, it really makes it that much
The
better.
expansion blew you away when we played that the other day.
I really liked
Totally
it. I
agree.
really liked it. And you know what else I liked about it too that I don't think we mentioned last time is one of the things that comes with the expansion is it makes this more of a 4X game because you're exploring. In the other one you didn't explore in the same way. And in this one you there's more exploration options and choices, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think that's the rabbit hole I went down last time that we skipped.
You were exploring too
Yeah, I
much,
think
yeah.
it was.
But it's fun, you know. I mean, that's one thing about a 4X game is you love to explore, you love to world build, and yeah, if you focus too much on that, it can screw you in other areas. But it's so much fun, that discovery, and there's almost a push your luck. Do I waste a turn getting something that's maybe not going to help me, or you know? But anyway, I love it.
Yeah.
Civilization: A New Dawn is a fantastic game. Get it and get the expansion as far as I'm concerned. That is my number 18. That is from Fantasy Flight Games. My number 17 is a game that again we played in December, I think, which blew me away. I thought I would like. I bought this game. I don't buy a lot of games nowadays. I have a lot of companies that send me games to review, so I don't buy a lot of games. I bought this one because I really wanted to play it. Fell in love with it and really enjoyed it. This is Dune Imperium from Direwolf. You liked Dune Imperium, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what we just...
Yeah. It's the deck builder,
that was
worker
fun.
placement.
That was fun.
It's a good game. It's like I say, it's part deck builder, part worker placement. It's good IP game. You know, you've got the Dune IP going on there, but it's just done so well. I think the two mechanics, I've never seen them work in a game quite like this before. Now, Direwolf did like Clank, and I've heard people compare it to Clank. I don't think it's like Clank at all, but except that it's got a board game and deck builder mix. But here it's worker placement. And, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I really, really enjoyed this game. Again, it gives you a ton of choices every turn with where you're going to put your agents. The solo mode on it is great as well. I've played this one solo a few times. Really enjoyed it. Anything you want to add on Dune Imperium?
No, that was a good game.
Okay, so that is my number 17, Dune Imperium from Direwolf. What is your 17?
My 17 is, again, a game we've mentioned and a game you gave me for my birthday.
What?
Undaunted Normandy.
Undaunted Normandy.
Did we talk about
Yeah,
this?
it was number 20. It was number 20,
that's right. I thought we talked about this one already. So we pretty much said everything we need to about that.
Yeah, but it's a great game.
Great game.
That's Undaunted Normandy, Osprey Games. That's your 17?
Yeah, not a long game either.
What's your 16?
My 16 is, I think, just one of the single greatest party games of all time.
What's that?
Cash and Guns.
Cash and Guns. Cash and Guns.
Any game where you can just point a gun at your 8-year-old.
A styrofoam gun.
A styrofoam gun. At your 8-year-old is just a good time.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a bluffing game.
Oh, yeah.
And it does it so well. And this is a game every time you play, you laugh.
Oh.
You laugh.
You laugh, you talk about it after, it's ridiculous, you're pointing these foam guns at each other, and you try, the whole story of the game is fun. You're all these crooks, and you're going back to your hideout to divide up the loot, but you turn on each other, and maybe you get loot, maybe you don't, and maybe they got a bullet, and maybe they don't. It is such a simple, easy game. Every time I've introduced it, or my son has introduced it to a group of people, they just loved it.
It is.
And they look at the guns at first, they're like, we're pointing guns.
It's like,
what? Because, society today, but when you get into it, it's just a ball.
It is. This was actually my number 100.
Was it really?
It was my number 100, yeah.
That's a good spot for it.
It is. It's a great game.
Yeah.
And that's from Repros Productions, I believe. And that's your 16?
That was my 16.
Okay, so it's my 16. Versailles 1919 from GMT Games. This is a game that came out just a few months ago. Again, it's one I want you to play a lot. It's an area control game, but it is it's based on, of course, the Treaty of Versailles, which was crafted in 1919. But you're one of the four major powers: Italy, France, UK, or USA, and you are trying to influence the treaty in certain ways. And you have different issues that come up, and you're taking those issues, you're settling those issues. But then, if the world heats up in certain areas, potentially those issues can go back in play, and people can try to steal them from you. And those issues are worth points, right? So people are stealing your points. It's a very good game. I love the theme. Being a history guy, I love the theme. I love the implementation of that theme here so well, and the mechanics are great. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Churchill. It's a very different game from Churchill, but it kind of reminded me of Churchill in the sense that it was this diplomatic game. And this one, I think, is much better. They're both Mark Herman designs, but this one is much, much better, I think, in my opinion. And it's a shorter game. It's more accessible. Churchill could go on for hours. I mean, potentially, if you played a full game of Churchill, it'd be like an all-day game. And this game is like, under 2 hours, and it's brilliant. You can play a longer game if you want, but it's brilliant. I want you to play it. That's Versailles 1919. That's my 16. So, let's see, is my 15 or your 15? You did your 16, right?
I did 16, so it's your 15. Yeah.
All right, my number 15 is, I think we played this once. In fact, I played it several times, but I think you played it once. This is from Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro. It's Conquest of Nerath, Dungeons and Dragons Conquest of Nerath. It's like Axis and Allies, but it's fantasy.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Does that sound familiar to you?
Doesn't sound familiar.
And you've got a map, and you're each in the corner of the map, and there's like a sea and an island in the middle. But you're fighting, and you have like dragons or like your bombers.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
that sounds cool.
It's fun, yeah. Because you got infantry, but then you got like wizards that can go on quests and stuff, and it's really fun. It's pretty much a fantasy version of Axis and Allies, and it's a lot of fun. And I haven't played it in a long time, and I really want to hit it again because I always had so much fun with Conquest of Nerath. It was just a great game. And it's funny because you'd think I'd like the World War II version of Axis and Allies better. In fact, I actually like the fantasy one better. It was just very interesting to me. But that is my number 15, Conquest of Nerath from Avalon Hill Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro. Your number 15.
My number 15 is Disney Villainous from Ravensburger.
Disney Villainous?
Disney Villainous. We just got the new expansion, so now we have 18 villains we can play, I think is what we're at to now. we're a Disney family. My family, we go to Disney. We try to go once a year when it's not closed for a year. But we love Disney, and we love everything Disneyland, and we've watched all the movies, and we got Disney Plus, and all that stuff. We're Disney. So Villainous,
Zach's even gonna get his head frozen after he dies, like Walt.
yeah, just like that. No, but it's so this is a game that was just perfect for my family. My girls love it. We play it, and it's asymmetrical. That's what you call it, right? Because everyone's playing your own game. So it's the challenge of that is you're not really playing together. It does have the fate deck, and that lets you kind of interact with each other, but you get so caught up in what you're doing, and that can you kind of not really playing together. So that's
you're playing your own solitaire.
You're playing your own solitaire game at the same time. But aside from that, it's just each villain. I probably played half the villains. I've never won this game, but the plots and the villain objectives and everything are perfect. I mean, it's right in line with the characters. From the
Generally
movies every
speaking, I still enjoy the Disney version over the Marvel version, but I did like how in the Marvel version it felt like there was more interactivity in the Marvel version.
That I agree with. It would be nice to have that level of interactivity in the Disney Villainous model. My problem with the Marvel one is it's one of the weakest parts of the Marvel universe, with the exception of like Thanos or maybe some other characters, or the villains, aren't as we're in Disney. I mean, that's most people's favorite characters are the villains in the Disney cartoons, and so I love that in my family.
I enjoyed it. I want to say it's in my 50s, but it's in my top 100 too. I enjoyed Disney Villainous, frankly, more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun game. Mm-hmm. In a way, it's kind of a game of. I just hope people aren't paying attention to what I'm doing, but it's still fun. I get a kick out of it.
That's really
All right, that's your 15. That's
that was Disney Villainous.
Disney Villainous from Ravensburger and Prospero Hall. What's your 14?
My 14 is my favorite of the Tempest games.
Oh, really?
Courtier.
Yeah. What do you like about Courtier? Courtier? What do you?
Courtier? Is it Courtier?
I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, it's again, haven't played it for a while. It's out of print. I'm trying to get a hold of a copy of it, but it was just the class systems, and you had little cube things. You could probably explain it. You're better at explaining games.
It's an area control game.
That's
you're
what
trying to place your cubes by the different ministers. Essentially, you have these petitions. You're trying to the queen gives you these petitions, and you're trying to essentially influence the correct courtiers in order to fulfill the petitions. So you're trying to get the majority number of cubes on one of these ministers. As soon as you have the majority, if you get the majority in all the ones you need to fulfill, boom, you fulfilled it. But there's all these little rules with each of the spaces, and it's just fun.
It's a fun game. Every time I played it, I've had a good time.
I have too. Courtier is, to me, probably my favorite Euro.
Yeah.
I mean, and when I say Euro, I mean that maybe it's because it's like the loosest possible construction of the term Euro.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fan of heavier Euros, and it's not. It's light, and it's pretty much just area control. But it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. I love it.
It's so fantastic. This is your number 14.
It's my 14.
It's my number 14.
I was waiting for this to happen. We
intersected at number 14.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I gotta be honest though, Zach. I thought this was gonna be much higher on your list.
It could have been.
Yeah, I was really expecting this to be top 10,
really
if not top 5 for you.
Well, it could have been, but I put a few others ahead of it. But yeah, it could have been in my top 10.
It's either way, it's a fantastic game, and we both love it.
It might have been down a little bit because I have not played it much recently, and every other game I played a lot more since. So maybe that might be for that reason.
We got to break this one out and play it again.
Yeah,
sometime too.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, so that's Courtier. So that was both our 14s, and it's my 13, or is it your 13?
No, it's your 13.
Mansions of Madness, second edition from Fantasy Flight Games, number 13. Again, you haven't played this. You played the first edition of Mansions of Madness, which you liked. That was okay.
It was okay.
It was eclipsed by another game. You think
it was eclipsed by another game that you may see later.
But to me, Mansions of Madness, second edition is an adventure. It uses an app that helps you construct the story, and it's genuinely creepy. And I played this game solo a lot. And I got to tell you, it's one of those games where you play it, you're kind of looking over your shoulder a few times. It's genuinely creepy when you got that music coming from the app. But it's smart and it's fun, and it does a great job of implementing the H.P. Lovecraft theme. It's probably I think it is my highest rated H.P. Lovecraft game. I love it, and it is. It comes down, I think, to the stories. The stories it tells are so fun. It's like you're reading a book, but you're part of the action. It's got a ton of expansions. I really like the one with the train. There's one with the train
that sounds
expansion,
kinda cool.
and it, like as the train moves, you like take some off the front, and then you put others on the back, and it's really a lot of fun.
I have to play that one again. Yeah.
We need to. That is got to be something we do pretty soon. I actually prefer playing. You can play. I think it's 1 to 5 players. I actually prefer smaller player counts. Honestly, I'd rather play this 1 to 3 players. When it gets to 4 or 5, it takes a little long to get to your turn. So I prefer smaller player counts with it. But it's a great game, and I love Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition for Fantasy Flight Games. That's my number 13.
My 13. My 13 is another very simple deck builder, but the last deck builder on my list, Star Realms.
Star Realms, a very good
Star
game.
Realms number 13. Who does Star Realms?
White Wizard.
White Wizard. That's right. Same as Hero Realms. But I like Star Realms. I got the app. That's my go-to. I need to kill 10 minutes on my phone game is Star Realms. But it's just, that was one of the first real deck builders, I think. I think even before Legendary. I think you introduced me to Star Realms. That was one of the first deck builders I actually really experienced. And it's a fun game.
Well, I think the first deck builder was DC, wasn't it? Wasn't that the first game?
Oh, yeah, you're right, DC.
Yeah, because I remember you didn't get the concept at first, and once you got it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
That's right.
But Star Realms is awesome. You know what's cool about Star Realms is it's quick, it's fast, and it's portable. You can take it anywhere.
That's what I
play
like
this game
about
in
it.
restaurants. And, yeah, I agree. So that's Star Realms, that's White Wizard, and that is your 13?
Yeah.
Number 12.
Number 12, DC deck builders. You brought it up. That was supposed to be electric because I made it first. That was my first. That's what I meant to say. That was my first exposure to. The thing about the DC game, I like the DC. I like them a lot. There's a bunch of them, and you can interchange them and play.
Yeah.
And they're great. And if you don't mind continuity and theme completely just going out the window, if that doesn't bother you at all, then it's a fun introductory deck builder game that I have had a lot of good fun. That was one of the first games my son would. I think it was like 8 or Max was like 9 or 10. He wanted to buy a game. He bought that game. He's so excited to buy it. We played it all the time.
That's and it's got a lot of good, fun expansions too.
Oh yeah, I like
and
the
standalone stuff.
And the one about was not the heroes but the villains, and that's my favorite. I like the villain one better than the heroes.
Maybe my favorite is Confrontations because
but
you got to play it 2v2. You got 2 heroes, 2 villains, and you are attacking each other directly, and it's we got to play that. We got 2 other people play that one sometimes because you'll love that one.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your 13 or that's your 12?
That was my 12.
Okay, so now it's my 12. My number 12 is Legendary, a Marvel deck building game.
Legendary,
a Marvel deck building game. Legendary Marvel deck building game. Now, what I love about Legendary Marvel deck building game is you can build such a good. There's so many expansions. You can build so many combinations here. That to me is what sells it. I like the Marvel games. I like the Marvel heroes. I'm not in love with them like a lot of people are. I mean, I like the movies, but I like them. I don't love them, but I love the game because there's so much you can do. And every time you play this game, it's different. It's completely different every time you play it. Even when you're playing the same scenario, you can mix up the characters. You can mix up the villains. There's so many combinations here. Literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of combinations you can do now with all the different stuff. So anyway, I really love this game. So that's Marvel Legendary Marvel deck building game from Upper Deck. Don't say it. I know what you're going to say.
What was I going to say?
You're going to say that it's your number 12 too.
No, I'm not.
Okay, then
No. I will have more to say about it later.
I thought for sure that was going to be your 12 too.
I wish it was though. Now,
all right.
but no.
Now my number 11.
Yeah.
Now you've done your 12, right?
I did my 12.
Okay, so we screwed up somewhere here. But anyway, I'll do my number 11. No, I did.
Yeah, you go real set.
Okay.
Yeah, then you do 11, then I do 11.
Yeah, okay. My 11 is Legendary Encounters, an alien deck building game. This is, so what I'm doing is, I've got the regular Legendary represented here with Marvel deck building game, and then the Legendary Encounters represented here with Alien, which is the best of the game. Now, I just played this one again the other night with Mitch. We played a couple of games. First one, we bought it really early, but we actually won the second game during Aliens, the second film. And I got to tell you, this game is scary. In fact, you said to me, when we were playing it the first time, it feels like that scene in Aliens when they're like 2 meters, 5 meters, or whatever.
Where they're coming from, and
because when they're sliding down and you don't know what they are, it's a scary game. I mean, it's a tense game, and it is so much fun.
And it is the single hardest cooperative game I think I've ever played.
You think it's harder than Back to the Future Back in Time?
Yes, I do.
Wow, it's a tough game.
It's a very
But
hard
I don't know, because I've won this one a few times.
I've never won it.
But
I haven't played it as much as you have.
the expansion, we played the expansion once where somebody plays the queen. That's like going to be impossible to win for the humans.
Yeah.
I mean, because it seems like the queen's too powerful in that one. Remember when we played that?
Oh
with
yeah,
Max?
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the queen, forget about it.
Queen is tough.
You can't beat the queen.
All right, so that's Legendary Encounters, an alien deck building game from Upper Deck. That's my number 11. Zach.
My number 11 is my second favorite Hidden Trader game. I think it's in Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler.
Very good game.
Is if you want to play just an awesome, incredible paranoia Secret Trader game, you don't get better than Secret Hitler.
You got the fascists, you got the liberals, and among the fascists is Hitler. And in my opinion, the way to play this game is with the higher player count, where Hitler doesn't know who the other fascists are.
No, that one is actually. I mean, it goes up to 8, doesn't it?
It goes with 10.
See, that's a game you could play with 10. And not feel like you're slowing anything down. You could play that game. I mean, I think I'm with you. The more you have, and then when you get to the player count where Hitler doesn't know who the fascists are, that's when it's fun.
I did when I was working on my PhD, I did a U.S. foreign policy course.
Yeah.
And me and another student were able to convince my professor to let us play a game of Secret Hitler in the class one day. So we actually played that in the graduate course. It was freaking awesome.
It is so simple to play because it doesn't have to be complex. It's all
Even
about the training.
I think the company even made a print and play version for free because they said the rules. I mean, you could play this very easily without their stuff. But their stuff is fun to play with. But
and the stuff is fun and to have the things, but it's a beautiful game. Any game that someone can end, but the game is over and someone stands up and triumphantly proclaims, "I am Hitler." It's fun.
I was playing this with a buddy of mine who's half Japanese, and his whole defense was the whole time, "I can't be Hitler. Hitler wasn't Japanese," so he got a kick out of that. It's a great game, tremendously fun game, and I think we both love it. And I don't recall who created it, so
yeah.
All right, but anyway, that is Secret Hitler number 11. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. Please let us know what you think of the games on our list. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Would you change that? Would you have other games on here? Let us know. We really are interested in hearing your opinions. And also, too, please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. Also, if you like military history, World War II, check out my other YouTube channel, Cody Carlson, PhD. I'll put a link in the description for that as well. And you can check out my number 150 through 101 on our website, thediscriminatinggamer.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap things up today, Zach here has something he would like to say.
Yeah, I have to apologize to my brother. I took a shot at him at the beginning of this piece, and I want to say in front of everybody watching that my brother is a stand-up guy.
Dude, thanks.
Because he can't afford any chairs.
Hey, you know darn well I had plenty of chairs until you sat on them, brother. All right, sorry, I'll see you at Mom's house.
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love to fight, but I don't ever win. It's a fine line to damnation, but God let me in.
Wonder what Cody's favorite game is. Probably I wear a flat cap because I think I'm balding. Could you imagine going bald?